Hello. Hello, good morning. My name is Bita Sadanandan, and today is the 5th of April 2026. The time is 6:43 a.m. The area of body we will be maintaining health of by the Nirbeeja Yoga style is the region of the glutes or the buttocks. And movementless yoga. Nirbeeja Yoga is a movementless method of yoga, but it enables healthier natural breathing. Now, our body is our first home, also our first office, our first vehicle, the first relationship you're supposed to be having, or at least to maintain health regularly of, because, um, well, we have a life because, or we have an experience of living, um, because there is this tissue memory that then holds the stories of life and the experience of life from a regular updation of content. So it's like a filing system and information management system too. So our experience of living is from having a body that's human, that took shape from the mother's womb and continues to maintain the filing system all through our different times of life. And how we maintain health of this information management system, which is also our body, also says the quality of stories we live. What's the history and her story? Our human body is formed from mother and father material. So left side is said to be the feminine side, and the right side the masculine side. They're given this idea of divine masculine and divine feminine too. So, and then we have a common human body template, so to speak. Template, basic mainframe of head, neck, the shoulder girdle, the rib cage, the spine, because that's the only bony structure of the abdomen, and the pelvic girdle, forming the main frame. And then plus the muscles and all the related tissues, plus or minus limbs. So an alive human unit at least has this basic unit, and then plus or minus limbs for additional engines according to our own placement in the whole scheme of things. So, if you consider ourselves to be as employees born in an organization called Earth Inc. or Life Inc., we're all on planet Earth. So, over time, there has been a consolidation of different departments. There is said to have been Mars and Venus having shown signs of life, but now we are all on Earth. So, there has been a consolidation of departments all on planet Earth because ecological, instead of having all the resources spread all around, um, on Earth, and then Shrishti optimization before you can, um, you know, mass produce, or so to speak, when everything's going well. So, um, and over time, United Nations formed, and over time, World Health Organization formed the global list of diseases, no, list of diseases from across the globe, and different people working in different ways to improve health of the matter towards Shrishti optimization, no, towards having sustainable health, wealth, and wisdom, such that we are not um, also dying, because death is also a disease which humans have been thinking about going beyond, but haven't found a way because we didn't know how to look at life or why we are in existence, or to see that we are part of an organization, an incorporation. And we may be having had difficulty incorporating into our own life. We may be like travelers with our suitcases, but not really even unpacking into our own life. And talking about out of the body experience and saying, you are not your body, you are not your thoughts, and such mm, touchdown difficulties. Yeah. Having a body that's human born, but having a little difficulty with being in touch with reality. Yeah. The human body that we have is a filing system, and we don't know how to regularly improve the stories. That's our life, which also is made of seven substrates, seven colors of the rainbow, rainbows, seven sounds of music, Saptarishis, seven oceans, seven mountains, different references to seven. Also, the idea that life was created in the universe, world was created in 6 days, and God went off to sleep on seven. Yeah. So this movie Raya and the Last Dragon is also talking about um, Shishu having gone to sleep at the bottom of the river of lake. Yeah. And then since then they've been calling it as Kundalini, coiled at the bottom of the spine. Yeah. So awakening the Kundalini has been a moment in several yoga practitioners' ways of thinking. Yeah. And we have a movie about how the Kundalini work. Yeah. And well, with the glutes, we are more closer to the matter. Yeah. Those who haven't yet begun writing your stories, you have a long Hanuman's tail. Yeah. Long tail, T-A-L-E, um, which also is how you pronounce T-A-I-L. And human beings have had that tail stuck in their bodies in some time, waiting for Kundalini to awaken. Yeah. Time to write such that the tail can be there, but it's your hands and your writing surfaces or how you write that human beings have spent a lot of time evolving into, from apes to uh, drawing images on cave walls to forming hieroglyphics and then over time languages and written text and people complaining about going to school. It's taken some time, yeah, and how we have a broken education system. It's also taken some time. So, to see another perspective on what is really actually broken, yeah, our perspectives. And we have um, a little moment, we have schizophrenic constructs of reality. And now to get our pieces together, like putting the puzzle pieces together, you're having a little education, and we are the area of body we are maintaining health of by the Nirbeeja Yoga method style is region of glutes. I read a report that says some people study the entire human body from how the glutes are. There are some people who study the entire human body and health from just looking at the intestines or listening to the intestines. So, different parts of the body, different people specialize in, and then speak about the health of the entire body. Yeah. So, some look at the heart, some look at the GI system, some look at palms, some look at feet, reflexologists, for example, and help to maintain health of the whole body. Because every part of the body is related with every other part of the body. But the thing is, we may or may not know how they are actually related with every other part of the body. There's this idea of the homunculus for a frame of reference. It's called the little human. And my work involves studying the whole little human. Yeah, homunculus. And I discovered the homunculus is to live in life in the multiverse, like the Lord of the Rings. Needs to be a humane Lord of the Rings. Otherwise, we have Lord of the Rings, the movie, for an example. Kind of. What they were trying to say, you had to come through the difficult parts before you could see the light and see another version of the story. Yeah. Because we have been having warring tribes and all kinds of scary thought lines. And so through the scary thought lines, we come to a more other than those kinds of understandings. So Tolkien has been doing remarkable work to many of us. Tolkien, Pirates of the Caribbean people, then Alice in Wonderland people, several such, oh my God, creators. Yeah. Now, I had to take a moment on that one. Now, because not small constructs, I think I'm also creating one. Yeah. We haven't yet seen yet, or rather, many people are creating movies since when I started work. For example, there's this idea of what's it? Um, uh, okay, I'm just trying remembering this. Kalki, Kalki, AD something something. Yeah, 20 some year. There's a movie. Yeah, which is also talking about a technology and then somebody birthing. Yeah, working on a technology while others are figuring out about technologies. I seem to be doing that work right now. you. Let's keep it all fine so that our technologies are getting better and we are not losing it. Because civilization also has said when you lose your head on technology, things have not been going so well. Those civilizations are not in existence, or rather, we have their memory, but they are not in existence while we are wondering how did those technologies work? Because they got a little too enthusiastic about technology. Yeah. So the human body and the human technology, no, no, life as a technology over time consolidated from many other places to just being on Earth has taken some time, and we haven't had reason to think of those terms. Alrighty, the glutes. If you have gone a little up from your seat, if you haven't taken your, um, you've been sitting on a chair, time to now a little more get comfortable with our glutes supporting the matter. So while there are people like me talking and giving you a little concerns, existential angst also maybe sometimes, the school is just beginning. So we're just kind of informing. So if you haven't woken up, this is a little bit of a time to warm up to basics. Hmm. That's the part that I'm working on in my online course too. So, all right, on learn.dynamicstillnesses.com. That sounds like an ad. It is. Um, So here we are having scattered about many different parts of the body about Nirbeeja Yoga. Now, about the region of the glutes, I invite you to bring your attention to the base of your sitting surface. And I recommend you sit deep into your chair so that your thighs are also rested on the chair. And then pay attention to how is the tension of the muscles between the left and right sides. If you notice your muscles to be a little tense, I invite you to place your feet flat on the ground such that your knees are at a 90-degree angle to your feet. That, along with placing your elbows on the armrest. If you're not sitting on a chair that doesn't have an armrest, I recommend shifting to a chair that has an armrest. So you have the benefit of this exercise. And with a backrest too. Yeah. And in such a chair, your posture is likely to be at least tension, which means the bones are supporting the bony framework where the bones are related to each other, but posture in such a manner that the bony joints are in a manner that complements each other's posture. And then the muscles which are related to your bones also can relax when you sit deep into your chair, such that your thighs and your buttocks are supported by the chair. And you can lean back on the chair's backrest. So the rest of the muscles can also relax without compromising on your posture, which needs to be upright. So you can have a certain supported from within and supported from outside. There is a chair experience, supported from within and supported from outside. Hopefully, you're sitting in a place where you feel safe, which means there's nobody screaming at you or somebody going to just bounce on you from somewhere in the corners, a cat, a dog, or somebody, yeah, who could threaten your life. No. If you're sitting in such a place, your muscles are more likely to be relaxed, and your bones are less likely to be, ready to support your fight, flight, freeze, just in case something happens. Your nervous system is more likely to be relaxed too. So if you are in any such threat, I recommend closing the door or making sure you're sitting in a place where you are safe and you can relax. And your feet placed flat on the ground can uncurl the toes such that they are actually flat on the ground. Yeah. If you are having a difficulty uncurling your toes or keeping your feet flat on the ground, even though you think you are sitting in a safe space, internally you may not be feeling safe. So these are some of the signs that you can pay attention to. And then how do you then go beyond that? Is by, for example, paying attention to warmth in the soles of your feet, warmth anywhere that you can notice in your body, and then paying attention to any sense of softness. If you can pay attention to warmth, you may be beginning to feel some sense of safety, because this is also comfort from your body. Usually when we are tense, or when we are having, say, we are cold, say from cold weather, or we are having a fever, we tend to drink something warm because that helps us feel comfortable. That helps us recover. Here, you already have warmth in your body because your blood is already warm. Alive human beings, any human being on the planet who's having a body that's human and alive, has warm blood. That's a characteristic of human body. It's a trait of a human body. So if you notice warmth anywhere in your body, and your body has blood, if you notice warmth anywhere in your body, you are beginning to notice safety or comfort, at least from within your body. And that's a sign of how you begin to recover, you begin to become healthier, because your nervous system takes a little while getting familiar with warmth, with being able to sense warmth, with being able to sense softness, because you may not be familiar with it. That may not be something you pay attention to every day. And so, if you have been, say, having a difficult moment in your childhood or at different times, paying attention to warmth over time helps you begin to start becoming better from inside. Whether or not somebody else has something warm to offer you, you will begin to start experiencing warmth. And then you can give yourself a warm drink, warm water, warm food, warm clothes. That also, warm clothes also requires it to be clean. If they are not clean, they tend to get cold. It's with a kind of sticky kind of coldness, because microbes form a certain biofilm on them. So they tend to become cold. Dirty clothes have a little cold feeling to it. Yeah, that's something I noticed. So you may need to wash your clothes. Yeah. But that's also how you have warm clothes. Yeah. Which also means you may need to have a bath regularly. Yeah. Um, and use a soft sponge. Yeah. A soft sponge helps you be gentle with your skin while you are beginning to heal, because you may need to scrub those microorganisms. And why I say that is, microorganisms on your skin tends to have you think about past things, or have you think about not so healthy things. And um, so this day, fresh microorganisms. Yesterday's microorganisms, if you're living this day, you're having yesterday's thoughts or whatever you could think about yesterday. Yeah. So today, to be at least 0.1% better than yesterday, or 0.1% better than um, whatever the past experience has been, sometimes when you go outside and then you come home, you wash your hands, feet, your face, or you change your clothes, you're leaving outside not so healthy experiences washed, and then you are in this moment. So that could also be why you're not having a pleasant experience. You may be living from outside experiences, dust, microbes sitting on your skin. Yeah. So from yesterday, you may not have washed, or you just woke up and you're sitting here. So that could also be giving rise to a not safe experience. Plus, paying attention to warmth in your body may not be something you pay attention, may not be something you do every day. Yeah. Now you're aware of, continue to practice a little, you would be more well. It's like the sun is rising up. Yeah. Morning, the sun rises. The warmth in your body lets you know the sun is always on. And a warm, balmy sunlight, not something that's all fiery and then, oh my goodness. Yeah. So no matter how the environment outside is, you have the warmth. You have the humane presence. Yeah. You are comfortable. And then you can make sure you're safe, not letting anybody um, disturb that, because they may be not healthy, but you can see that they are not healthy because you are aware of what the human body composition is, a humane body composition is. And people who are not healthy tend to do unhealthy things because they are hurt or they don't know Nirbeeja Yoga. As simple as that. Yeah. Introduce them to these lives, and they will also become humane human beings. Yeah, healthy. Otherwise, we are all functioning in a sick economy, which has also WHO's global list of diseases collated. But we humans need to care enough to go beyond the list of diseases and be actually be healthy. So you're hearing this, you're amongst the first ones to, the sunlight on, happy times, health coming out, showing up. There's also springtime. Yeah, health springs, very nice. Now, the glutes. If you can feel the warmth, softness, and comfort in your glutes while you're sitting in the chair, deep in the chair, is a comfort in and of itself, because this muscle called the glutes, yeah, gluteus maximus, gluteus, it's just called glutes, but it's basically the buttocks. Another colloquial word, layman's terms, does a big work of helping you to maintain your center of gravity. If you're sitting, it's taking the weight of your body such that you maintain a sitting posture. People who sit a long time, their buttock muscles are strong in a certain way, which people who don't sit a long time don't have the muscles similarly. Those who are, say, walking or standing for a long time don't have the ability to sit for a long time because the buttock muscles are not conditioned enough to support a long sitting posture. Similarly, people who are standing for a long time have their buttock muscles in a composition suitable for standing more than sitting. They may feel a little uncomfortable sitting because their buttock needs to be have the ability to sit for a long time. So the composition changes. Same is the case with people who walk for a long time. So your buttocks is unique to you depending on what's the activity you tend to do most often. So that's something to be revered, actually, because you can continue to do what you're doing for a long time because of how your body composition is. When you change that, when you do things which you would like to do, or how you can then engage with your life, with the different activities, your body composition accordingly changes, suits that. Yeah. So that you are able to continue to do that activity better. If you're an artist, then your body composition is suitable to then create art. Yeah. Because your mind and body is coordinated in that sense. Now, our body is a time suit too. It holds the memory of different ages. When I say 18-year-old or 5-year-old, you can kind of, in a sense, have that memory of it because you go back in time, which means your body clock is filing different times within the same body composition, which is why your body can retrieve the files from that timeline. Yeah. And then you can remember that experience. You're not remembering your neighbors or your friends. You're remembering your own past life experience. Yeah. So it's a time suit also. And your body also occupies space in the whole scheme of things. So it's also a space suit. Yeah. If you were like, you've seen about people, say, landing on the moon and wearing a spacesuit. We are on planet Earth. On planet Earth, they're thinking of Mars spacesuit. On planet Earth, we are wearing a spacesuit. And taking care of the health of our spacesuit is part of how we maintain being alive on the planet and maintaining being healthy, wealthy wise. Because this infrastructure on Earth took some time forming. Yeah. Like Rome didn't form overnight, Earth didn't form overnight. Yeah. Rome was not made in a day. Similarly, Earth was not formed overnight. Neither was your human body. So, which is why we don't quite know that our human body is a spacesuit. and time suit because we were born with it. We don't know life other than this. If you didn't have the human body, we have the idea of ghosts. Yeah, you're alive. You have a body that's human. You think you're a ghost. That's because you're not connected with your space suit and time suit. We need to pay attention to warmth. Human body spacesuit also functions by warm lubrication, warm hydraulics. Yeah. There are different kinds of fluids: lymph, cerebrospinal fluid, interstitial fluid, blood, warm, 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 all warm. Yeah. And you may not be aware of it, which means your nervous system may not be aware of it. Okay. You are not just your nervous system. Yeah. Your nervous system is also part of your human body spacesuit, time suit. Okay. And your brain is also processing information. That's because you are also it. But we tend to keep thinking you're not your body and these kinds of thought lines, which is not quite working for actually feeling the spacesuit and the bodysuit we have. Yeah. So you are your body tissues and more than that. So we are just slowly warming up to what's a spacesuit, what's this textbook we are born into. So this is a school, mighty school. Yeah. You're already born with the textbook, your human body, because this is my specialty. This is what I teach and, enliven life in the multiverse. So this is school on how to enliven life in the multiverse. And this is Nirbeeja Yoga and requires school has textbooks. You're already born with the textbook, your human body. And as you study this textbook, we begin to do humane being things such that life enlivens in the multiverse. Good human beings. Otherwise, otherwise we continue to have a sick economy, not knowing why in the world has have we been born with a human body, and we have a human economy, and humanity across boundaries maybe facing a little bit of schizophrenic concepts of reality. That we don't really know what reality is, and there's also the hard problem of consciousness and many such unsolved mathematical, several other ethical concerns, economical, sociological, historical concerns. Yeah. So if you're writing, I recommend you write. If you don't know to write, then join a course that allows you to write, at least in English, because that'll help you communicate to many kinds of people. And then from the base of English, you can also then learn to write your mother tongue, father tongue, because then you'll have additional benefits. You can also learn your sister tongue, cousin tongue, uncle tongue. Yeah. Because then you'll have polymath, so to speak. Each language has its own spectrum of sounds and math and how they are composed. So at least learn English and then learn your mother tongue, father tongue, different other tongues. So that gives you a weave of ways of thinking, which those who don't know many languages don't know the benefit of it, don't know what's there to be had from learning many languages. And your language is so you can communicate with many people. English tends to be a prevalent language. A lot of people know it. So you will be able to talk to many kinds of people when you learn this one language. Also, I'm speaking in English. So if you need to understand what I'm saying, I have a master's in arts, MA in English, and then 19 plus years in the field of medical transcription, all in English. And then internet, I'm learning everything in English. So all English. So I'm to speak and teach through the English channel. Yeah. So if you want to be tuned into what I'm making available and nobody else is doing it the way I'm, because it's like the internet formed at one point in time. Similarly, my work, and we are all enjoying the benefit of the internet. So my work is like that. This is beginning stages. So you've caught the wind at the right time. Yeah. So your ship taking sail, yeah, on the waves of time, you've got the right wind. So now your glutes, if you feel a little more reverential in being able to, what becomes possible when you can pay attention to the softness of your glutes and can pay attention to warmth, okay, at least warmth. If you can pay attention to warmth, paying attention to softness becomes easier. And when you can pay attention to softness, you will notice there are different kinds of textures that your glutes, your buttocks are made of, including bones inside. Yeah. Well, it's actually a a little deeper inside, but you have your bones too, or at least you'll know where the bones are. And bones are part of the skeletal framework. It's like the house having beams, and then you have the putty and the bricks forming the flesh of the house. The substance, kind of. Otherwise, you'll be living within beams. Yeah, no, no. We are not just skeleton, we also have muscles. Yeah, so the muscles are like the putty and bricks of the body house we live in. Yeah. Now, when you pay attention to warmth, it becomes easier to pay attention to softness. When you pay attention to softness, it becomes easier to pay attention to different kinds of textures, including the bones, which forms the beams of your house, office, vehicle. Yeah. You see, just one structure is the house, office, vehicle, also your life partner. Because you're alive because you have this body that's human. As long as you're alive, yeah. And when you keep it alive and all healthy for a long time, you have a long life, yeah, and health, wealth, and wisdom. Now, what does it take to maintain a long life also depends on what activities you do. If you're going to do risky behavior, that's not going to help, yeah. Um, so to maintain a long life, do things which is not going to hurt you or hurt others. Because if others are hurt, they would want to punch. And then how then do you work such that you're not getting punched? That is some of the details is, for example, paying attention to warmth in your body, yeah, paying attention to softness, and then being aware of your own bodily sensations and what is there from the environment. Can you feel the air on your skin, for example? Yeah, because that kind of tells you which side the wind is blowing, or which side there is light, or where somebody is having a cold stare at you. Yeah, because your skin will crawl and let you know if somebody's having a cold stare at you. Yeah, and then you'll know what you could do so to be safe. Yeah, they may be having a a health moment where they don't know about, say, Nirbeeja Yoga, and you can slowly introduce them to these lives. Yeah, so they also then are aware of what their eyes are doing or how their demeanor is, or what they don't know about. Once they become a little more warmed up to what it is to have life, to have a body that's human, to know what kind of experiences they've been going through. Yeah, so they slowly become healthier too, or they become more contained and not spilling out through the skin. Yeah, so continue to participate in these lives. We'll all get healthier, wealthier, wiser. A lot of people are at different stages of figuring out what it means to have this bodysuit, time suit, space suit, office, vehicle, home, oh, life partner. Um, the first relationship, which then allows you to be a humane Lord of the Rings, where people in your life, no matter who they are also part of the same planet, Earth's people. So we are all Earth family. So no matter how is people's health, we are all on the same planet Earth. So these are our colleagues, these are our family members, these are our friends, these are our um, hmm, multiverse. Everybody is living in their own universes. Yeah, you're living in your own universe, they're living in their own universe. But to make sure all our universes are sustainably healthy, wealthy, wise, yeah, they can live, you can live too. It requires at least you paying attention to warmth, softness, and any sense of relaxation in your body. Yeah, that also allows for you to breathe healthier naturally. Yeah, life is the way it is. There is work to be done. Different people are in different stages of health, wealth, wisdom. And you can feel warmth, softness, and sense of relaxation in your own body so that you can then appreciate how is different people's health, what challenges they may be feeling. But you can be safe and you can also contribute in your own ways so they can also be healthy, wealthy, wise, healthy, wealthy, wiser. That's also making sure that your garden is good, your neighbors' gardens are good, your neighboring country continents' gardens are good, which means when bees are pollinating, they're not bringing unhealthy seeds or pollens into your garden, which is kind of like an insurance plan. You're just making sure your life is healthy, people's life, your contemporary people's lives are healthy, future generations' lives are healthy, and their future generations' lives are also healthy. It's kind of, yeah, Ajivan guaranteed advantage. Yeah, Sanchay Ajivan guaranteed advantage is one of the superb plans that HDFC Life has to offer. You need to go through that, go through the details. If you haven't, you can contact your agent or you can contact me. I'm also a financial consultant with HDFC Life. Um, and I will be able to tell you those amazing, remarkable benefits that Saga, it's called Saga, Sanchay Ajivan Guaranteed Advantage. Beautiful benefits. Oh my goodness. I could send you the poster right now. Not the poster, the um, one pager. You can go to Google, type Saga, Sanchay Ajivan Guaranteed Advantage, HDFC Life, PDF. Yeah, you will get the details of it. But yeah, you can also apply for it online. You can pay the premium, apply for it online too. That's available too. So yeah, and yeah. So to make sure you, people around you, future generations, and their future generations are also good, Saga is also an opportunity by which you can make sure a lot of things are working. Yeah. And also your own health. Health is wealth. Maintaining your health being good is how you maintain the human life value. Yeah. You have a human life, and the value of it also depends on how healthily you're maintaining your own life. So Nirbeeja Yoga helps with that. So you can take care of yourself. You can also take care of others around you, such that they are not being a threat to themselves or to others. Yeah. That's also Aikido. That's art of peace. Yeah, we just, it's a different kind of, can't say martial arts. It's a different kind of peace. Yeah. So, yeah, one piece, peace in the pot, 9 days old. It takes some time for peace to become all fine, and a lot of people, different layers of benefits from peace shows up. Yeah. But as you maintain the peace, with yourself, people around you, future generations, you'll have a peaceful, like world peace. That would be really, really nice. Yeah. It takes some time. It takes a little more Nirbeeja yoga and paying attention to warmth and eating warm food, and then using warm clothes, which means also clothes, washed clothes and then clean. And then you taking care of yourself, but also making sure you're studying well, because then you can write and then you can tell the stories in a way that needs to be heard, such that history also moves forward for the better. And you see life from your two eyes the way another person may not be seeing life. So you need to tell your perspective in your own words. So it could be through written text. You could also sing, you could paint, you can make structures, but words go a long way. Yeah. Because a lot of people, um, internet also talks in words. So they could be, I don't know if they translate images, but words go a long way. Human beings formed over time because we could write, we could talk. That is another characteristic feature of being human. So learn to read and write, because that would go a long way. And then to be able to tell your story and other people's stories also, the way you can see it, requires paying attention to details. Yeah, the God and the devil are in the details. And the details that you see, others may not be able to see because they don't have your eyes. And beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. Your eyes, the beauty that lies in your eyes, is how then people begin to see a perspective of life they can't otherwise. So do care enough to go to school, learn to read and write, and then to tell your take on the story. So there's a story, there's your take on the story, and then there's the truth of the story, which you will have to discern, which is your made your subjective appreciation of the matter and what actually is the truth. And the truth always frees us, frees you, frees people around you, frees future generations. Truth frees us. So there will be our version of the story, and there could be other story there, your take on the matter, and then when you arrive at the essence of the matter, that's when you come to wisdom in a way that solves or rather brings a perspective to many paradigms of thinking, which may not be possible otherwise. Yeah. three versions of the story, but at least begin to start expressing your version of the story, how you see things. Yeah. So glutes has many benefits. Helps you sit on the matter and think of the matter. Yeah. Quite a remarkable muscle, if you think. Gives you a seat in the whole scheme of things. Yeah. You already are born with this chair. Yeah. Now, thank you so much for joining me. I hope this has been of value to you. Good day. See you in the evening. If all goes well, 6:30 to 7. We will look at the same muscles in the evening at a different time frame when the sun is kind of in different stages of setting, people are more rested from the daily activities. So the experience of life in the evening versus morning would be different. Morning, the sun is just different stages of rising, people are just beginning their work. So there, the environmental influence on your body is different in the morning versus the evening. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining me. Good day.